What is up, YouTube? Dave the Race Fan here, and my oh my has it been a minute since I have last done something big with this channel. But the good news is I am now back and I am more ready than ever before to deliver my predictions for the 2023 NASCAR season. We'll be doing things somewhat similar to the way we did them last year, and this time I have not only one but two friends who will be helping me with this project. So without further delay, let's get started. Drivers, start your engines. So my first prediction for this video is essentially going to be the same one as I did last year, but with a few additions to it. I'll be going over my Rookie of the Year picks not only for the Cup Series this year, but as well as the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series on top of that. So my Rookie of the Year pick for the Cup Series this year is actually going to be Noah Gragson. I know a lot of people are probably going to be going with Ty Gibbs, and that is somewhat understandable. But I think with Gragson ultimately having more experience behind the wheel the next gen, having essentially run half the schedule last year, I think he's going to have an easier time adapting and he is going to be a better runner overall. Now, as far as the Xfinity Series Rookie of the Year is concerned, I have Chandler Smith as the pick for this one. Given how well he's done in the Truck Series as a part of KBM, I think that Chandler Smith won't have too much trouble adapting to running at Xfinity, especially after he did have some part-time experience in the series last year. And I think having teammates like Daniel Hemrick and Justin Haley around will definitely help him adjust to the car much faster, and I think it'll definitely get him to his first win. Now, as far as the Truck Series is concerned, I actually have Roger Kaveh winning Rookie of the Year this year. I know a lot of people are probably going to be gunning for his former Rev Racing teammate Nick Sanchez, who's going to be driving for Rev Racing still in their newfound truck program. But I think given how well he's done with Spire Motorsports and the couple starts he made for them last year, I think Kaveh will definitely be the one to look out for, especially having teammates like Grant Enfinger on board to kind of help him through everything. So my second prediction will exclusively be revolving around the Cup Series for just a minute here. Now, last year we had 19 different winners in this series, with the first 3 consecutive weeks of the playoffs having spoiler winners alone. I think that this year we're going to have that record-breaking number of 20 different winners this year. Just with how many people will definitely be capable of making the playoffs this year, and given how much performance we can see from some of the non-playoff drivers this year, I definitely think it's possible. So this next prediction is going to be revolving around one of my Xfinity Series favorites, Daniel Hemrick, best known for his championship win in 2021. Now, Hemrick ultimately did have a bit of a championship hangover season last year, and he honestly did struggle quite a bit more in the playoffs than I was initially anticipating that he would. However, as he goes into his second year of Kaulig Racing, I do ultimately think that he will have a lot of better runs this year, much like the years before spent with teams like RCR and JGR. And I do think that he will not only be able to visit victory lane again this year, but he may very well have his first multi-win season this year. And the reason I say that is because we have guys like Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson going up into Cup, as well as veteran AJ Allmendinger going back into Cup as well on top of that. So, as a result of that, I do think that guys like Hemrick will have an easier chance to win this year, and either way I do look forward to seeing how he'll do this season. Alright, so next up we have the Milwaukee Mile returning to the Craftsman Truck Series this season. And honestly, I think we'll have a first-time winner at this track this year. I know that to my knowledge, the only driver in the Truck Series to get their first win at this particular event was Kurt Busch in 2000. But considering the rookies we have this season, considering how many people are still looking for that elusive first win, I do think that a place like the Milwaukee Mile will ultimately be a good proving ground for them, and I think it'll definitely make for a very good race either way. It's hard to say who will be the first-time winner at this race, but I do look forward to finding out if we do. Alright, so this next one is ultimately a little bit of a rehash, as I will once again reiterate that Chris Buescher will not only win a race this year, but will make the playoffs as well. As we all know, Buescher did miss the playoffs last year, but he did manage to do what he didn't do the year before, and he won the playoff race at Bristol as a spoiler, one of the 3 consecutive winners during the first round. I do think that Buescher will ultimately have it in him to be one of the drivers to make the top 16 this year. And although I won't be as focused on his teammate in Cohen or Brad Keselowski, I do think that somebody like Buescher, who ultimately has been carrying the team throughout the past couple of years, will ultimately get it done. So while on the topic of predictions I made last year, let's go back to the one about 2311 Racing. That's right. I once again see both full-time drivers each making an appearance in the playoffs and each winning one race as well. And this year, we'll have Bubba Wallace returning to the 23 car, but we'll have Tyler Reddick in the 45 after a long-time stint with RCR. Now, given how Reddick's season went last year with RCR, I definitely see him making the playoffs without a doubt. And Bubba Wallace, in spite of the recent controversies he's been involved in, I do think that he's also shown a lot of improvement, and given his post-playoff win at Kansas last year, I think that he's definitely going to be one to win it as well. It's just a shame that Kurt Busch is no longer going to be part of this organization as a full-time driver due to what happened at Pocono the year before, but needless to say, I'm still glad to see my all-time favorite driver supporting them either way. And as a result of that, I do think that both the 23 and the 45 are going to make the top 16 this year, and we'll definitely have a good shot. So next up, we're going to be talking about Valvoline and Hendrick Motorsports. As we all know, these two organizations have a very long partnership with one another, and for the past 2 seasons, they've sponsored not only one but 2 of their drivers, in both Kyle Larson and William Byron. However, with it being all but a given that HendrickCars.com will be the exclusive sponsor for Larson this year, that does leave me with the concept that William Byron could very well get a win or 2 with Valvoline on the car this year. He did have his first multi-win season last year, and I do think he's capable of doing it again this year, just as long as everything goes right for him and he keeps his head in the game. Alright, now that we have some of my stuff squared away, we are now going to be rolling it over to one of the 2 friends I said would be helping me with this video. You might remember him from last year, and once again, I would like to thank Kettle Run Railfan for being one of my wingmen again this year, and take it away, buddy. Let's hear what you got to say.
Alright, so we are back for year 2 of making some NASCAR predictions. Thank you very much, Dave, for once again allowing me to join the project. And I will say that I've decided to be a little more conservative this year compared to last year, considering, well, most of my picks flopped. So I've decided to go with just 3 picks for this year, and I'm taking 1 from each series. So with that in mind, let's get into this. Okay, so for my prediction for the Cup Series, I have a first-time winner's prediction, first one I've ever done one of these in the video. And my prediction is that the newest member of the Stewart-Haas racing organization, Ryan Preece, will get his first win this season. The driver from the Northeast United States has already made a name for himself in the NASCAR Modified Tour, while also picking up wins for David Gilliland Racing, now known as Tricon-Garage, in the Truck Series, and Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series. In addition to this, he's put up some very stellar performances for Cup teams such as JTG Doherty Racing and for Rick Ware Racing last season. But now that Preece has teammates such as Kevin Harvick, Chase Briscoe, and Eric Almirola, who are all proven race winners, and Harvick being a Cup Series champion, I think Preece will finally have the experience and the equipment behind him to get that elusive first Cup Series win. And if he's able to do this season, he would join a very exclusive list of drivers who have been able to win a race in all 3 of NASCAR's top divisions. Good luck, Ryan. Okay, as for my prediction for the Xfinity Series this year, as I did last year, it concerns Jordan Anderson Racing. Now, initially this prediction was going to be about Myatt Snider, but considering that he was released by the team and replaced, I've decided to shift focus to the rookie of their organization, Parker Retzlaff. This kid put up some very good runs last season after he came out of nowhere, driving both the 38 car for RSS Racing and a few races for Our Motorsports in the back half of the season. Now, I'm not entirely sure if he gets a win this season, but I will say that considering he does have some experience under his belt in both Xfinity and trucks, he'll at least get a couple top 10s, a handful of top 15s, and he'll be a solid Rookie of the Year contender. Maybe he'll get a win in 2024, or maybe towards the back half of this season. We'll just have to wait and see. Alright, as for my Truck Series prediction, which will be my last one this season, it actually concerns one of Dave's favorite Truck Series drivers, Christian Eckes. Now, Eckes surprised everybody when he moved from Thorsport Racing to McAnally-Hilgeman Racing to replace Derek Kraus in the number 19 truck. Now, considering that his teammate will be a rookie in Jake Garcia, I would think to expect more out of Eckes, who is a proven race winner. And my prediction for him is that he'll finally get McAnally-Hilgeman Racing their first win and to get them into the playoffs. Considering how far he goes in the playoffs, I'm not going to make any calls on that, but I would look at Eckes as a bit of an upgrade over Kraus, even though he showed a lot of improvement this past season, minus the few incidents he was caught up in. But, regardless of that, I feel like Eckes should be a contender for wins week in, week out, like he was this past season for Thorsport. And, while on the subject of McAnally-Hilgeman Racing, I do expect a lot out of Jake Garcia as well, and I expect him to be a solid contender for Rookie of the Year. And with that, those are my 3 predictions for this season. Just wanted to thank Dave again for letting me in on this project. It's been a lot of fun working with him, not only on this year's project, but last year, and on some of the league stuff we've been doing. So thank you once again, dude, for letting me do this, and let's go racing, everyone.
Alright, now that that's said and done, we are going to go ahead and take it over to my other good buddy who will be helping me with this project this year. It's the first time we've worked together on a video, and I'm super happy to have him as a co-collaborator as well. And special thanks to Menard Bros Vids, and take it away, man.
Thanks for the mention, Dave. It's an honor to do this video with you, and I'm proud to collab with you, because not many people get to do it. But anyways, for the 2023 NASCAR season, since Dave went ahead and listed his first-time winners for Cup, I'll list some for Xfinity, and those Xfinity will be Chandler and Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed, and Parker Kligerman. Now, those 4 I have faith in, even though technically 2 out of those 4 are rookies. It's still going to be exciting to watch. And for prediction number 2, Martin Truex Jr. retires with Kevin Harvick after the 2023 season. Now, Kevin Harvick's was stated before the season started. Martin Truex Jr.'s isn't confirmed, and Martin Truex Jr. is about the same age as his teammate Denny Hamlin. But thing is, Denny Hamlin still competes for wins on a consistent basis. Martin Truex Jr. is starting to hit a decline, and it took Martin Truex Jr. in the mid-summer to decide what in the hell he was going to be doing for 2023. And considering his girlfriend with cancer and, you know, his performance lately, I think he'll just call it a career after 2023 and hopefully not end up like Kurt Busch and forced to retire early. And prediction number 3, I think for North Wilkesboro and Chicago Street Course is on everybody's mind this year, so let's talk about it. Chicago Street Course for the Cup Series. A pole winner could be a road course ringer like Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, but I'm going to go with Willie O'Brien because he did pretty good in the iRacing event there. And the winner of the race, that could easily be Chase Elliott because, you know, it's road courses. And North Wilkesboro, I'm going to go with Bubba Wallace to win the pole there and Kyle Larson to win the race there. For the Truck Series, North Wilkesboro will be won by Carson Hocevar, who will get his first career win at North Wilkesboro. And for Xfinity, Chicago Street Course will be won by my man Austin Hill. That bias? Who knows? Maybe not. Anyways, I'll pass it over to you, Dave. Take it from here.
And here we are with the last prediction for this video today. Now, just like my Rookie of the Year prediction, I'm going to cover who I think will win the championship, not only in Cup this year, but Trucks and Xfinity on top of that. Now, as far as the Truck Series is concerned, I'm just going to say it. I see Zane Smith winning his second back-to-back title with Front Row Motorsports this season. Given how well he did with FRM last year, as well as GMS the 2 years before that, I think the guy can get it done, and he will ultimately be the first back-to-back champion in this series, since Matt Crafton with his first two titles in 2013 and 2014 respectively. Now, as far as the Xfinity Series is concerned, I'm going to go with another one of my favorites here. I personally believe that Junior Motorsports driver Josh Berry will be the one to win the title. Given how he made the championship for last year, and given how he's pretty much been one to look out for since that part-time season he ran in 2021, I do believe that Josh Berry is easily a championship-level driver, and he's definitely proven it over the past season or so. So with that said, I definitely see him winning the title, and I can't wait to see how he does this year. And last but not least, we have the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. And the driver who I think will win that long-awaited title after all these years will be none other than Denny Hamlin. That's right. I think the 2023 will be Hamlin's year to finally win that elusive championship. And even though he's essentially one of the veterans in this sport at this point, he easily hasn't shown any signs of weakness, and he's definitely still dominant out there on the track. And given some of his biggest achievements this year, such as 3 Daytona 500 wins as well as a Coca-Cola 600 win, I definitely do think that Hamlin has what it takes to finally win the title this season. I can't wait to see how he does in the playoffs, and I can't wait to see how his two drivers over at 2311 do on top of that. I think it'll be a great year for Toyota, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and before I go, I do have to give a really big shout out to some really close friends of mine who were kind enough to help me with this project. First of all, I'd like to thank Kettle Run Railfan for once again joining forces with me. This is the second time that we've collaborated. As well as Menard Bros Vids, who is also kind enough to bring some of his predictions to the table as well. These are really good friends that have helped me through a lot over the past couple of years, and I do hope you guys check them both out. I'll leave both of their channels in the description. And I'd also like to give a very big shout out to Motorsports Fan17. He was really nice enough to provide some of the stuff for this video, as well as being the inspiration for these videos overall. These are some really close friends of mine, and I hope you guys give them the credit they deserve. They're really good people, and I do recommend that you check out their content if you like mine. Well, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and once again, I apologize for being gone for God knows how long. I definitely hope to change that this year. But until then, can't wait to see how the season goes in NASCAR, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.